Hey friends, week 2 of 2023 personal development is done. And in week 2, I read chapter 2 of John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Now, this is an amazing book. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend that you do so. In week 2, he says that in order to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. And I know you're thinking, well, I do know myself. But one of his premises in this chapter is that there are a few different types of people in the world. There are people who have no clue what they want to do. And those people are typically in a job, they don't love it, they might hate it, they're not happy with what they're doing, but they don't know what it is that they would want to do to make them happy. And then there's the people who know what they want to do, but they're not doing it. Maybe they don't have the skills, maybe they don't have the education, maybe they're just not motivated to get up and try to do what it is that they want to do. And finally, there are those people who know what they want to do and are doing it. And I have to tell you, I have been all three of those people at various points in time, and maybe not in the order that you might be thinking. So back in about 2001, I knew that I wanted to teach at the college level. I was already a registered dietitian. I'd been working in a hospital. I had my bachelor's degree in my internship, but I did not have any graduate degrees. And I wanted to teach college. So I decided to go back to school and get my master's degree. By the time that I finished my degree, there were very few jobs that I could get with only a master's degree. But I did happen to get a couple. I got a full-time teaching job. It was great. It was paying me a big $35,000 a year. Yeah, it wasn't good money at the time then either. But I was teaching. I was in a full-time teaching position. That school ended up having financial problems. They told us a year and a quarter into working there that they might not be able to make payroll. And, even though I was living on $35,000 a year, it wasn't that I could live on zero. So I started looking for a new job and I couldn't find another teaching job. So I just took another job. Well, then I got a full-time teaching position at a community college and it was great. I loved it. My students loved me. And I didn't get a permanent position. I didn't get to stay on for the next year. And again, I was just devastated, right? But I still knew what it was that I wanted to do. So I took some jobs and a program director for a dietetic internship, freestanding dietetic internship opened up. And I took that job knowing that it wasn't my dream job. It wasn't my end goal, but it was a great stepping stone. And let me tell you, it was a fantastic stepping stone job to get me to my next job where I was teaching and I was doing program administration for a graduate dietetics program. That was my dream job until it wasn't. A few years into that job, there were administrative changes and things just took a turn for the worse. I became a not great instructor because I was spread so thin. I was pulled in so many different directions. So honestly, if you were one of my students in the 2021-2022 school year, the school year before that was terrible because of pandemic, but the 2021-2022 school year, I was pulled so thin. I had so many expectations, so many responsibilities, and I wasn't doing any of them very well. So if you were my student in that time frame, I sincerely apologize to you because I wasn't my best. I wasn't doing my best. And for that reason, I left that job. And when I left that job, I was so disillusioned with higher education that I thought I would never go back. I thought that dream of mine was done. Now it's not done. I am going back and I will share more about that later this year. But I hit a point of, I don't know what I want to do. If I am not teaching, what am I going to do? And I had no clue. And it was a rough few months because the only thing I wanted to do was teach, but I didn't have the hope that teaching was going to be the fulfilling career that I wanted it to be. So if you are in that position where you either don't know what you want to do or you know what you want to do but you're not doing it, first of all, pick up John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. But also, I am putting together a workbook to put together some action plans, to give you pieces to help guide and direct you into figuring out that career that's going to fulfill you. I need to put some finishing touches on the interior of the workbook, and then I need to make a cover. So it's not even ready for pre-sale yet, but it is almost there. So if you're watching this video on the week that I recorded it, it's not ready for pre-sale, but let me know if you want to be informed when it is. If you're watching this later, I probably came back and put into the description how to get your hands on that workbook. So if you want to go from dreading your job to feeling fulfilled in your work, please check out John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth and my workbook on finding your fulfilling career. Thank you and have a great day.